Gone with the Wind was written by Margaret Mitchell and first published in 1936. The author drew inspiration from stories she heard about the American South before, during, and after the American Civil War between 1861 and 1865. This war was fought between the northern states and the southern states, mainly over issues of slavery and states' rights. Mitchell carefully blended family memories with historical accounts to create a vivid picture of a society in upheaval. The novel explores how people struggled to hold on to their way of life as war shattered the old order and forced them to adapt to a rapidly changing world. From the beginning of the story, attention centers on Scarlett O'Hara, the eldest daughter of Gerald O'Hara and Ellen O'Hara. The family home, known as Tara, is a large plantation in rural Georgia. Scarlett grows up surrounded by comfort, fine clothes, and many admirers because she is charming and lively. She has striking green eyes and a strong will, which she uses to gain the attention of all the young men in her neighborhood. However, Scarlett finds herself upset when she hears that Ashley Wilkes, the quiet and thoughtful man she believes she loves, is going to marry his cousin, Melanie Hamilton. This news feels like a shock to her because she is sure that Ashley should prefer her over any other young woman. Scarlett decides to attend a party at the Wilkes home called 12 Oaks, where Ashley is set to announce his engagement to Melanie. She hopes to persuade Ashley to admit he loves her instead. At this gathering, guests wear elegant dresses and handsome suits, and the scent of fresh grass fills the air. Many people in the county have come to celebrate, laugh, and enjoy plenty of food and music. Scarlett notices that there is excitement in the air as well, because talk of war is spreading. The southern states are preparing to fight the northern states, convinced that their cause is just and that they will soon achieve victory. During the party at 12 Oaks, Scarlett has a private conversation with Ashley. She pleads with him to break his engagement, asking him to run away with her. However, Ashley gently explains that he respects and cares for Scarlett, but he knows he and Melanie share deeper values and a calm understanding. He tells Scarlett that she might not truly love him the way she thinks she does, but Scarlett will not listen. She grows angry and slaps him, not realizing someone is standing in the room. That person is Rhett Butler, a man who is already seen as trouble by the local families. He is known for speaking openly about the South's chances in the coming war. Rhett smirks, amused by Scarlett's angry reaction, and remarks that she is not the sweet girl everyone believes her to be. Soon after, the Civil War officially begins. Many young men, including Ashley, rush to sign up for the Confederate Army. They believe the conflict will be short and that victory is certain. Scarlett, still hurting from Ashley's rejection, chooses a path that surprises her neighbors. She marries Charles Hamilton, Melanie's brother, hoping this quick marriage will help her forget Ashley and perhaps make him jealous. However, Charles soon dies of disease in a training camp before facing battle. Scarlett becomes a widow at a very young age, forced to wear black and behave in a quiet, sorrowful way that does not suit her energetic personality at all. Scarlett's mother, Ellen, believes that a change of scene might help her daughter cope with grief and restlessness. She sends Scarlett to Atlanta to stay with Melanie Hamilton, now Melanie Wilkes, and Melanie's aunt, Pitty Pat. In Atlanta, Scarlett encounters a bustling city filled with hospitals for wounded soldiers, fundraisers for the Confederate cause, and society gatherings meant to raise money and morale. Although she is in mourning, Scarlett does not enjoy sitting at home in black clothes. She attends dances and bazaars where she can flirt, though some people view her behavior as shocking for a widow. During these events, Scarlett meets Rhett Butler again. He is making money by running goods past the Union blockade, which many Southerners disapprove of, calling him unpatriotic. Yet Scarlett is drawn to Rhett's boldness, and he admires her refusal to pretend she is content with widowhood. As the war goes on, life in Atlanta becomes more tense. Food supplies grow scarce, and trains bring in many wounded soldiers from the battlefields. Every day, Melanie helps care for those who are injured, and she urges Scarlett to assist as well. Scarlett does so unwillingly, but finds herself growing used to the sight of hospitals and hearing the cries of the hurt and dying. Meanwhile, Melanie is carrying Ashley's child and her health appears delicate. When there are reports that the Union Army is marching toward Atlanta, panic spreads. The city endures cannon fire, and flames begin to consume large areas. Scarlett realizes she must protect Melanie, who goes into labor right when the city is falling apart. Seeking an escape, Scarlett begs Rhett Butler to help her flee. Rhett arrives with a horse and a broken-down wagon, guiding Scarlett, Melanie, and the newborn baby through the burning streets. Explosions rock the city, and there is chaos everywhere. Once they are safely outside the worst areas, Rhett stuns Scarlett by announcing that he plans to leave her and join the Confederate troops. He says he cannot continue to watch from the sidelines while the South faces total defeat, even though earlier he voiced doubts about the Confederate cause. Scarlett, feeling betrayed and terrified, is forced to take charge of the wagon herself. She urges the weak horse onward, determined to return to Tara. Reaching Tara, Scarlett discovers a scene of terrible destruction. The fields are bare, the plantation house is damaged, and Union soldiers have taken or burned much of the food. Most of the slaves are gone, and there is no one to greet her except her father, Gerald, who seems to have lost much of his spirit after Ellen's death. Ellen had died from a fever shortly before Scarlett's return. Scarlett's sisters are ill, and there is hardly anything to eat. Faced with the ruins of her former life, Scarlett vows she will never go hungry again. She works in the fields, picks cotton, hunts for anything edible, and even kills a Union soldier who tries to rob the house. She takes his money and uses it for basic survival. This is a major turning point for Scarlett, who starts to cast aside concern for social rules and thinks only of keeping Tara and her family alive. Time passes, and the war finally ends with the South's defeat. But peace does not bring a quick recovery. Reconstruction begins, and Northern officials arrive to oversee the rebuilding of the region. Taxes on land rise sharply. Scarlett learns that she owes a large sum for Tara's taxes, and there is no money left to pay it. Desperate to keep her beloved plantation, she dresses in worn-out clothes and heads to Atlanta, hoping Rhett Butler might help her financially. However, Rhett is in jail under suspicion of profiting illegally during the war, and he is not able or willing to give her funds. With few options, Scarlett hears that Frank Kennedy, her sister Sue Ellen's suitor, owns a store and has saved money. Scarlett tricks him into thinking Sue Ellen no longer cares about him, then marries him herself to get access to his resources. People in the community are outraged by her actions, but she succeeds in paying the taxes on Tara.